Today I'm going to try to work on a how-to video, how to remove your stock bumper. This is the 89 Pontiac formula. It's a little different from 82 through 83, 84 to 5A6. They're all a little different, but they're all similar. So what I'm going to do first is unbolt these turn signals. There's two screws, 7mm. Then I think I'll take these 10mm bolts out right here that are holding on the bracket. Alright, next we're going to unbolt this piece here, the under piece. This helps get the air when you're driving and cools off the radiator. This particular 89 vehicle has this scoop plastic piece that sucks up the air up in here and then helps cool off the radiator as well. I think the older Trans Ams didn't have this, so I have to unbolt that too because it's connected to this rubber bumper. And there's one on this side too. Take all that off. There's 7mm bolts down here, and again these are 10 right here. Okay, I got one of these side pieces off, so that just gives you clearance up to get up under the bolts up under there. Mine had this dam on it, this air dam, so I had to unbolt it, which I did. And let's put that aside right now. A lot of you guys won't have this extra piece. Again, this is a 1989. I don't know when they started adding it, but a lot of the older cars don't have this piece. But you do have this air dam that sits here most of the time. Some of them have longer ones if you had the ground effects around the car. This one didn't have the ground effects, so it's shorter. Okay, so now we got those pieces off. I still got to get that one off, but you can see I can get in here and see where the rubber bumper is mounted. So you got to take these little plastic clips off right here. Get one of these tools here and just get it in there. You can use a screwdriver, whatever. This works good if you don't want to break the things. You're not going to use them anyway for the Knight Rider bumper. But yeah, that's how you pop those off, just like that. And you're going to take them all off. Okay, with my headlights up, you can kind of see in there that there's bolts in there that you have to unscrew from the fender and the rubber nose. You can see them right here. There's one here, and there should be four. You might need a wrench and a socket to get these out. Alright, top nuts 11mm, bottom ones were 10mm. Alright, all these bolts are taken out now. This thing should pop right off. I'll do this with one hand. Thing's just rubber. It's super light. And sticking on the honeycomb. There we go. Voila, there's your bumper off. Alright, so this is, again, it's an 89 year, so sometimes they did these honeycomb differently. Sometimes they're riveted on, sometimes they're bolted on. This particular year, these ones looks like they used these plastic fasteners, these things, which are just plastic. You can see it in there. So, yeah, you can hack it off with the saw. You can just pull them off if you want to. You're not going to use this. Really, this is just to keep the rubber in, keep its shape. If you hit anybody, it kind of keep its shape with this piece on. Since it's fiberglass that's going to be on here, you're not going to need this. You're not going to need the reinforcement of this. Again, that's all it's really for, is to kind of impact the rubber bumper. So we're going to pull that off right now. One thing you are going to have to cut, because of the mounting flag, it hits this side piece right here. I always have to cut them off. So you're going to at least have to cut off the bottom lip with the sawzall, grinder, whatever you got, and you might have to cut off a little bit of the side piece too. Okay. Easiest way for me to get this thing off, instead of trying to fidget in here and get it loosened, the best way is just use your muscle. Literally, look at that, popped it right off. Might be harder on other cars. This one seems a little bit different than the 82 that I have. and it's held on with these little clips, but they're kind of hard plastic, so it's almost like ABS, so they break off real easy. They're pretty hard. And there you go, you got it off. But some of these, like I said, they're riveted on. Some of them you have to grind off, some of them a little bit harder, but usually you can just yank them off like I just did. Alright, test fit the bumper. Actually guys, I was able to fit this bumper on without cutting the metal impact beam. If you slide it back and forth and play with it, you can get it actually to pass on both sides. Well, at least on this car I was able to. Sometimes I do have to trim it. Not a big deal. Another thing you might have to trim, for sure you have to trim the top piece, the top lip right here. That has to come off with a grinder, or just sand it off, cut it off, whatever. This is going to hit the lip, so you got to always take this lip off right here. And also, it kind of hits right here too a little bit. You might have to grind some of this bottom lip. You know, I'm talking maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe less, because it looks like it's barely hitting. I know when it's bolted up, it might be closer to it. Even looks like the headlight's pretty close, but real close. You might have to trim a little bit of that plastic. But the fit is good, and this is without even me messing with it. It's pretty close. Let's check the other side. This side, same thing. Just shoving it up there, looking at it real close. It's not bad. Not bad fitment at all. And that's without even tweaking with the bottom piece, because those bottoms can flare out and flare in. So yeah, it's a good fitting bumper. I just got to bolt them up. I do include the 4 bolts for each side with nuts, washers, and all that, and instructions. Once you get the bolts in, you can throw all the old bolts away. You won't need them. For this particular 2-3 season bumper, you don't need the turn signal bracket either. That just stays off, which is right there. Leave that one off. I am making a season 1. It's going to have this piece integrated in it. You still won't need the bracket. You can throw the bracket away. That's about it. I mean, I'm not going to mount this because this goes out to a customer in UK. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video on how easy. It's only maybe an hour. I'm in hour out here doing this. So if I can do it in an hour, you guys can do it, you know, in a day or two. I mean, at least. If I can do it in an hour's time. I know I do this a lot, but it ain't rocket science. It's really easy to do. It's not. You can do this in your home. It's simple. It's just follow the directions on how to do it, and you'll be okay. Another thing is you might have to drum out a little bit here to make clearance for the spring. I just made this shelf super long when I made it. I didn't really cut that out. Sometimes I cut it out for a customer if they want me to do it. If they don't want to do it. But yeah, that's how the bumper goes on. And turn signals, you're going to have to relocate them down below, because obviously I didn't make it for the turn signals to go there. So you'll take the turn signals out and relocate them down fog light area. And without the honeycomb in, it's a lot better. I recommend you paint your metal impact beam black, so it's all one color, and that's where your fog lights will mount on with L brackets or whatever you choose to use to fabricate your fog lights up with. Alright, and that's it. Let's see if I can get this to kind of stay so I can get a faraway shot. Alright, there we go. Alright, I got my kid and my wife holding the bumper down because I'm not going to bolt it in, but I want to show you. Push it down. It's not lined up. There you go. When it's lined up with the fenders, when you have it screwed in, you can just hold it there. There you go. That's the type of little gap you're going to have. It's going to be mostly by the hood, but every car fits different. Up, down a little bit, Alexa. You're up. There you go. Line it up to the fender. There you go. Alright, again, my wife and my kid both holding it in place because I'm not mounting it. And that's how the bumper looks. Sorry for the sun glare. It's a sunny day, it's hot. But once it's bolted in, that's how it will look on my 89 Formula, which it's perfect for me. Got a bit of a gap from hood to nose, which I like. That was in the show on both sides. And then it's lined up where the headlights are. And this is without any adjustments to the hood, headlights, or anything. Every car is different. My 82 has a way bigger gap. That car over there. My 91 has less gap than this one. So they all fit different and they all need adjustment. But this one's good to go. I could just throw this one on just like that, bolt it up on the sides. Buckle your up a little bit. Push down a little bit. Line it up to the fenders. Alright, so that's lined up to the fenders right there, and that's perfect gapping. I like that a lot. Alright guys, that's how you mount the bumper. Again, 4 bolts on the sides. I include them, and that's pretty much it. And you mount your scanner in the middle. Alright guys, again, this is an 89. I said that about a trillion times during this video. This one had the air dam, and I never tested it to see with this because none of the 82 and the 91 didn't have this. Only the formula did. So as you can see, it's going to go perfect with the bumper. I can actually bolt it right into the nose, and my air dam will still work to cool off the radiator. So I think I'll do that. Probably going to fit those little pieces in here too. But yeah, it's looking real good. Here's the video without that piece. Without the piece, you kind of have a hole in there. It was like that in the show, but it's nice to have, since I'll be driving this daily, it'd be nice to have the air dam functional for it, because you do want to keep your motor cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to be adding this to my car, leaving it in place, and probably going to use those side pieces as well and just screw them into the nose. Okay, I think this is Greg's bumper right here, out of mold. Just test fitting it on my 89 formula. Fits pretty good, actually. Real good on this car. There's a little chip here I'm probably going to have to fill for you. Tiny one there, and I did get the air pockets out. So one there, there's a few here. And I went around, found them all, made sure it baked in the sun for a few hours. Couple chips there. Real small air pockets. You can see these are all little tiny air pockets, pinholes. But like I said, it's impossible to get this perfect with no air pockets in them. It's just really impossible. No matter how hard I try rolling it, still. But good thing is you throw it in the sun, find out where your air pockets are, do it one time, fill them, and you'll never have that problem again. So I think I told him I would fill them in for him a little bit, so before I ship it I'll just add some filler in all these little pinholes, so when you sand it down you won't have to do it yourself. There's an air pocket right there that I missed, and you can see when it's an air pocket because it's like a high surface. Let me see if I can get that right there. The last video, this is the season 1 I've been working on. Fit is really good. See how the turn signals fit in there? Camera's about to die, so I gotta make this real quick. It's just sitting on there, not bolted on, but that's how it's gonna be for season 1. Turn signals will be in the bumper itself. Be a lot easier for an install.
Good night.